Our overall aim here at Surbiton High is to develop pupils' creative confidence, their performance skills and their socio-analytical thinking in drama. It's a really great subject for students to get out from behind the desk, work collaboratively, experimentally, creatively, and it's a subject that students are really passionate about and really enjoy working in. The students have an hour of drama at Key Stage 3 a week, and in that time they will be studying issue-based schemes of work as well as skills-based drama with teamwork and development of learning habits really at the sort of core values of what we do. We assess the students 6 times throughout the year rather than just annually once a year, and we assess them in 3 ways. We assess their creating, their performing and their responding to drama. And so the students we really think all of those aspects are equally weighted, so the students really get an opportunity to develop proper skills in the subject. At GCSE, there are some key skills that the students develop as they go through the course. They certainly don't need to feel that they have all of these things at their fingertips before they start. Really, the only thing we really want from the students before they want to take the GCSE is a passion for the subject. Throughout going through the course, they will develop everything they need because of the structure of the course. So the skills they'll be learning will be really taking their creativity to the next level, using their imagination in lots of different and exciting ways. They'll develop really good teamwork skills, leadership skills, communication, articulation, independent learning, creative thinking, as well as technical performance skills of voice, movement, and confidence on stage. The GCSE is challenging, but it's also incredibly rewarding, and the students here often find that they want to take their work to the next level and be really, really passionate about it, far beyond their ambitions to get a good mark at GCSE. The GCSE itself is split into 3 different components. And the first component, component 1, devising theatre, is worth 40% of the GCSE, and we complete that in the first year of the GCSE in year 10, which is a really great position for the students to be in moving forward in year 11, which is a busier year, to know that they've got 40% of the GCSE under their belt. It's a devising unit, so it's similar to some of the preparatory work we do in year 9, so they don't feel thrown by it. And the students have to create a piece of brand new theatre from a stimulus given by the exam board using the techniques of a famous influential theatre practitioner. Alongside the practical work they're creating, they have a portfolio of evidence of the things of how they went through that project, and they have to write those things down. They do have opportunities to present it in other ways as well, but the students basically document what they've done on the way. Both those things come together along with an evaluation that the students do under controlled conditions of their final piece once it's done, and that makes up the 40% of that component. Component 2 we complete in year 11 only, and that component is a piece of scripted theatre that the students put on in groups. They have to choose a play. We don't prescribe it for them. Our students, we will guide and help and possibly cajole, but we don't necessarily dictate what the students choose. Again, we want them to develop their own creative confidence and their own belief in their own skills. So the students will find a piece and they'll find 2 extracts from that play, and they'll create a group performance of 2 extracts of the play, and that will be to an outside examiner who arrives. There's no portfolio of written work that accompanies that, and that is worth 20% of the GCSE. Finally, the last 40% of the GCSE is component 3, and that's a written exam at the end of the course when the students take most of their other GCSEs in the summer. That exam is split between 2 main sections. One is our questions that you have to answer from the point of view of a designer or a performer of a set text that we will start studying at the beginning of year 11. And the students will explore that text practically and theoretically, so they prepare really well for that exam. The second part of that exam is a live theatre review, and we would take the students to see some live theatre throughout the course, and they will pick certain inspiring moments from the play that they've seen, and they will write about them critically, a review of what they've seen. And that's the final part of the paper. And so that paper makes up another 40% of the GCSE. We are incredibly lucky to be based where we are in Surbiton here in terms of theatre trips. It's utterly true that London is world-beating in terms of its performing arts and the theatre available to us. And it's really right on our doorstep. Surbiton has that amazing link into London, just a 20-minute non-stop train to Waterloo, and we're right by some of the best theatre in the world. We really do utilise that. We run lots and lots of trips. Last year we ran 5 theatre trips to see different plays, and we really search for really groundbreaking productions, really influential, new, exciting directors and theatre companies. In fact, last year, 3 of the 5 plays we took the students to were in the top 10 plays to see that year. I think top 5, all 3 of them as well. So we really do search for great stuff, really inspiring stuff for the students. I know that sometimes it's very tempting in schools to sometimes take students to those long-running productions that you can prepare schemes of work for, but that's not going to develop our students across the board, their own creative thinking, and inspire them in lots of ways. So we really have a healthy diet of amazing live theatre. We make sure that all students can at least see 1 production through the school, and we take as many as we can in the evening to other productions. So we have 1 during the day that we take them to. And that's really to make sure that we don't leave a bad footprint on their academic progression in other subjects. We don't want to take them out during the day to lots of plays, so we have to take them in the evening to some as well. As far as our co-curricular output is concerned, we are also incredibly lucky to have a director in residence here on our staff, a permanent member of staff that works full-time. Now, that director in residence is a professional theatre director. Often they have amazing dance credentials as well. And that person is just someone who is going to take a break from the professional world and come here and work with our students for a while before moving on. So we usually have a shorter contract for that member of staff, so that the students in their 6 years at Surbiton can experience lots of different practitioners with lots of different skills and really amazing experience. We run lots of clubs throughout the year, and one is always a technical theatre club, and the others are always changing year on year to make sure the students don't get bored, don't do the same thing over and over again, and we keep our output nice and fresh and healthy for the students. So we decide on the clubs every single year and change them up every year in their areas of focus. So the students can come year in and year out and really experience lots of different exciting aspects to drama. As far as our productions are concerned, we have a massive output of productions a year. Every year group has lots of opportunity to be involved in a production. Year 7 have their own play, their own production, and unlike some mindsets, we don't think that Year 7 should be given less opportunity or do less sort of creatively impactful things. In fact, we think the opposite. We usually take them outside of a traditional performing space and do something that's quite site-specific. We've put on a load of tales of terror in an old Gothic lodge. We put on Arabian Nights in a huge Bedouin tent with lots of Arabian puppets and all of the audience drinking mint tea on the floor, on the carpet. So we even took students to see Swallows and Amazons on an island where all the audience had to get boats out to see the production. So we want to do really interesting, inspiring, groundbreaking stuff with Year 7. Year 8 and 9 is a production that's usually held on site, and it's a combined production for Year 8 and 9. It's usually a straight play and something that really suits their year group, maybe something that has a little bit of issues involved in it that really gets them thinking and gets them motivated and challenged, because that's certainly what they're into at that time. We also have a senior play, so from years 10 to 13, the students get an opportunity to perform something at a really high level and a really challenging piece. We've done lots with this. We've performed Blood Wedding in a local church. and taking the audience outside and doing a very immersive production with them. And we've done all sorts of things. We turned the main hall we filled it with sand and turned it into the beaches of Australia for Our Country's Good last year. The pinnacle production, the real blue chip production for us every year, is our school musical. And it's a whole school event. We often have students from the prep school involved. We have lots of members of staff, really galvanizing goodwill across the school from all sorts of different departments. We have a band made up of students and teacher musicians only last year, which was amazing and inspiring. We have over 100 and usually about 115, but sometimes up to 140 students involved in that production. And we put it on at the New Wimbledon Theatre, which has the 8th largest auditorium in London. So it's a really amazing experience for the students to be on that stage. It really is the pinnacle of what we do, and the students are incredibly talented when they perform in that space. They're very excited to be there. We make sure that we are really pushing the support of them, so they are surrounded by a professional production as much as possible. And over 2,500 people come to see the musical annually. So it really is an amazing school celebration for us.